I have to tell you a story. It's going to be a bit of a long story. And okay, someone wrote in and told me, hey, why have you got it all written down in front of you? Are you reading from a thingy? And I'm not. I could just as well talk to this bag right here. This is the old bag. I'm going to talk to the old bag so you know that what I'm saying is from what happened, sort of thing. Now, this is in two parts. The first part is from the beginning of December 2020. And now you're all going to think I have a sign there. No, I'll talk to the bag. I'll just talk to the bag. I do not have anything prepared. I really don't. I'm going to show you a picture of what is in front of me here. It's a geisha and a woman in Japanese dress and a Christmas angel, and then an oil painting of Miwaten. Miwaten is a lake with really clear water, but it's also rather cold. And I have never been there yet. It's a beautiful place. What I'm going to explain now is in December 2020, I had a dream that I was going through some fog. Then I became aware of some living creatures around me. Now, what they were really spirits of the dead. They were on their way somewhere, and I don't know what I was doing there. I could see my clothes, I could see my chest, but they were, if I explain exactly how they look like, there's a light inside them. There's like a fire, like a candle inside them. Then outside the candle, there's like a cover, a surface, and that is sort of a pale color, like we imagine ghosts from cartoons. And I'm walking with them. This is in December 2020, remember. And if you look at their faces, they have similar features like they had when they were alive. And I believe that is where we get the Icelandic word for face. The Icelandic word for face is andlit, which is andi, spirit, lit, look. That's how your spirit looks. That's why ghosts, you can identify the ghosts by their faces. Anyway, I'm surrounded by these ghost creatures. So I follow these people, and we're in a fog, so we can't see where we're going or whatever. I'm just following, I'm just going with the flow, as they say. And then we come into a place, a clearing, where the fog makes a circle. There's a clearing in the fog. It's the middle of the fog, sort of thing. And they're all going towards the other side of the fog. But I notice, this is in December 2020. I notice there's a slab, a huge slab. On it is a throne, very ornate throne, huge and very carved and everything out of stone. And in front of that is standing a woman. Now, the problem is, in that, I can't remember that, in that dream, how she looked properly. But I had another dream, and she was there, and she had a helmet with two branches, living tree, out from her helmet. And they were a living tree, basically. They looked like Loki's horns, but these were branches. And that's why, in my mind, that's why she's often depicted with, horns or something. Really, they are branches. They're branches on her helmet or whatever. Anyway, so I come into the clearing. The fog is no longer present. So the people, the dead, the spirits of the dead go onwards into the fog over there. But I don't belong here. I accidentally roamed here. I lost my way and through the fog and so on, and I ended up here. So I want to try and appeal to her to let me leave, because it's not my time to go through. So I go towards her and I approach her, and I don't know if you've seen depictions of HEL. Half of her face is really nice and beautiful. Half of her face is dead. Is a dead sort of, you could say zombie or whatever, I don't know what you want to call it, but her half is, her face is dead. And what she does is she has lock of hair over the dead part. So you just see the cute part. You see the nice part. I'm going to put some pictures of depictions of HEL. Now, I go towards her and I say, she's very courteous and kind. She says hello or something. I can't remember exactly what we said, but I said to her, I think I lost my way through the fog. I shouldn't be here. You see, I am like this. You see, I am corporeal. I am in body. These are all spirits, possibly of the dead. I just put two and two together. These are spirits of the dead going from one place to another. And she says, "Ah, interesting. And you are a musician. I can read from you, from your spirit, that you are a musician." Yes, I do play guitar. I can play a little piano. She says, "Well, it's good you can play guitar. You can tune my guitar for me." Now, propped it against her throne was a beautiful wood-colored, ornately carved Celtic design, I don't know if it's Celtic or Celtic, anyway. Now, just to give you an idea how her guitar looked, I have this guitar that I bought of an Icelandic athlete. I just want to give you an example, give you an idea of how her guitar looked. It was very dark brown. You see this? You see how dark brown it is? It was very much like this one, but her guitar was all ornately carved, and it had a cutaway right here. Not a sharp cutaway, like I like sharp cutaways, but it had a cutaway so you could reach the higher notes. But this is more or less how her guitar looked in the dream in December. So remember, cutaway, dark, and I tuned that guitar. So while I was tuning, I just played two strings. Okay, and tuned it. So I tuned her guitar for her, as she asked, as she requested. And then she said, yeah, maybe I just play it on this one, because it's the December dream was on this kind of brown guitar. So I don't know if it's in tune, this guitar. I did tune her guitar. Let me just see. I'm gonna pull this sleeve up here. Okay, just close it now. Anyway, so what I did was, in that dream, in December 2020, I started playing some dreamy chords. C major 7th and F major 7th. What what this music did, this dreamy kind of music did, was to elevate the atmosphere, to raise the spirits, raise the emotions. Because all we had in front of us was spirits going from one fog bank into another fog. But some spirits, they stopped, they heard the music, and they moved towards where the throne was. I was sitting on the slab where her throne was. It may well be that she moved from side to side. I didn't want to make it too abrupt. And a lot of spirits, they gathered here to listen, because maybe they missed life, so they gathered in front of the slab just to listen. Some of them were joining in. It sounded like a choir, like. Just playing something like this. And then she said, "Oh, I think the guitar is nicely tuned now. Thank you so much. And I think you can just go." Oh, really? You know, go back the way you came. So I was released to go back into the fog. But her guitar was very much like this, but it was all ornate. It was very beautiful. Now, I did find guitars like that guitar. I think they're called Blueberry. And her guitar had a cutaway here, a soft cutaway. So it was like a blob here, but it was a cutaway. And Dreadnought. It was a Dreadnought, the same as this. Anyway. So I was released. She allowed me to go since I played her a song, and the spirits just went back to, shuffling off the mortal coil as they were doing, I was supposed to be doing. Anyway, so that was the dream in December of last year, 2020. And it was before I got this guitar, so maybe it was a premonition that I would get this guitar. But I had gone back to the shop that sold this guitar, and they said they sold it to someone else. I was trying to get it for a good price, Anyway, there. Let's hope it stays there. A little bit. Oh! Stay there. Okay, there we go. Now we go to the second dream on the 16th. I'm talking to the old bag again. On the 16th of June, 3-4 days ago, I had a dream again that I was walking through the fog. And again, there were people. And I thought, oh no, not this again. I was thinking to myself, not this again. Does it mean that my body has died? And I'm in the afterlife now. I came into this clearing, but now the fog was further back, so I could see 3 gates. There was a gate on the left, a gate in the middle, and a gate on the right. And again, there was HEL up on her slab with her throne, just like last time. So I approached her like I did last time. And I said, I believe that I've lost my way again. I'm here again because I'm not supposed to be here, really. You can see that I am like this, but they are, in spirit form. And she said, well, you keep coming back here. What's happening? And I kind of laughed, you know. And I said, well, last time I was here, you know, I tuned your guitar, if you remember. She says, yeah, well, maybe you can tune it again now. I went up on the slab and approached the throne. This time the guitar was totally different. It was black. It had the same cutaway as the other one, but it wasn't ornate. Maybe it changes shape with time, I don't know. But it was black, and it had strings, and as I took it from her hands, I noticed it's got a pickup in. A pickup! Is HEL doing concerts down in the underworld? You know, it's so strange. Now the underworld, what does it look like? It's like a cave that has caved in. Okay, so you can see the clouds above, and I think the combination of cool air below and hot air rising and all this stuff, this fog anyway. Now, I did ask, you know, what are these gates about? What are these gates? And she said, well, the left gate is to go to the past, where you can relive the glory of history. Historians and such people, they tend to go to the left. They want to relive history. But it is a struggle, and it is suffering. There is much suffering, because you know how humans are. And I said, yeah, I know that, yeah. The middle one is similar time to the time you just came from. Now she did not know what time I came from. So if you go straight, and that was the feeling I had, I should go straight. And then you stay in more or less the same time that you were in, that you came from. But if you go to the right, you go to the future. Now that's something I was really curious about. And I said, what is the future like? And I didn't really think that she didn't know from what time period I was. This is just the dead are just coming and going somewhere else in this area, in this place. She said, well, the rich get richer in the future, and the poor get poorer and more desperate. And the rich sacrifice the poor to maintain their stability, their security. To stay rich, they just sacrifice the poor as they see fit, as they need. So that's why I felt like I should go to the middle one, and I can stay more or less in the same time period as I was. Now she handed me her guitar to tune, and I went through it 2 by 2, and it seemed to be perfectly tuned. I just tuned it in December, another dream, but you know. And I said, oh, it's fine, it's tuned. And she said, oh, okay. Now I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you. I want you to play a song that you make up right now. It must not be a copy of any other song. It must be an original song that you make up on the spot. Last time I went easy on you. You just played some dreamy chords. They were very nice. But now I want to challenge you. And now I think I should bring out the guitar that is just like the guitar from the dream. And there was a guy selling a guitar just like it. Now it could well be that seeing the guitar for sale, this guitar for sale, came into the dream. You see, subconscious and all that stuff. But I did not own this guitar when I had the dream. But it really inspired me to get it. And he said, okay, let's do it. And he sold me the guitar that is just like the guitar HEL had in the underworld. And this is it. It's a a Baton Rouge dark hole, they call it. Of course, you know, I mean, the guy is a rock and roll guy, so it's got some rock scrapes. It's got some dings and stuff. Here we go, and there, and here, and of course there, you can see the head. There's some of the black paint going off here. Now, it just so happens I purchased long ago a kind of stick that is to repair furniture that is antique furniture, yes. And what I can do is just put some black stuff on here. It's almost like a crayon. Just put it here, and you can sand away or scrape away or just brush away the excess, so it looks like it's fine. It'll be fine. I'm gonna repair it. But this is how HEL's guitar looked. And it made its way on the 16th of June. I had the dream of visiting HEL for the second time, and it is now in my hands. The guitar. And it's got stars, inlays that are stars. It's not dots like I don't like. Stars look so much nicer. Baton Rouge, BR, dark hole. And it's for sale at Thomann. You can get a new one for around $400, I think. But now HEL had put a challenge to me. Don't play a song that exists. Now, I was thinking maybe it's a YouTube thing. Maybe, you know, if you play a song that exists, it's a copyright violation. You get a strike against your account. So even YouTube conditions are making their way into your dreams. Can you imagine? It's kind of funny. I was laughing and she chuckled back, you know, more as a polite sort of thing rather than, she didn't really laugh. I don't think she's a laughing sort. I mean, half her face smiles, half her face is dead. Half her face smiles and half her face is just dead. And she has her hair on front. I already said this probably, but she has her lock of her hair over her dead section. So she seems just a nice person. I can imagine if some dead people, you know, spirits approach her throne, she could whip the hair and cover the nice part, and she's like dead. She's, get back to where you should be. I can imagine. This is just my imagination sort of thing, okay? She never did that to me. She was very kind to me. And so what I did was I started playing. Now this is the song I played in the dream. I did, when I woke up, I recorded the whole thing. So it's fresh in my mind even now. So a song that's never been made. I did tune the guitar when I got it. Here we go. And as I played, again, spirits gathered, you know, in front of the slab. Some were enjoying it, some were sort of, they didn't find it that impressive or whatever. And anyway, this is important later. So some of the spirits gathered, and HEL was standing behind me listening, waiting for the song to start, because it was supposed to be inspired on the spot. Meadow with a rainbow, waves crash upon the shore. A seed floating in a valley, but no one knows is there and I find myself alone. And I hope I'm on my way home. Now I feel that HEL was smiling to herself. The images are from the world of the living. So all the spirits that were there, who had lived in the world, knew what I was talking about. It brought back their memories of when they were alive. Now I find myself alone. Hope I can find my way back home. And as I was singing, as I was humming, the spirits were joining in. And the more enthusiastic ones moved to the front. I find myself alone. I'm on my way back home. Back home. Now in the dream, there was some, at the very edge, there were people who were kind of scared if they might get in trouble, a consequence of stopping. They were just looking at these idiots who were gathered in front of the slab, in front of the throne. And they didn't want to get in trouble, so they kept at the back. And someone at the back said, "Are there more verses? More verses!" So he was demanding more verses. And HEL said to me, "Are there more verses? Can there be more verses?" Yes. Like the snow on a mountain top, that no one will ever see. And the cold wind blows through the peaks and down. find myself alone. But I'm on my way back home. And I could see the asshole, the scumbag, looking at me. He was going to do it again, I knew it. So I carried on. Like a smile on the face of a child. That it has never learned. It just knows I'm here alone. And I could see the scumbags at the back going, oh, he's going back to the chorus, and that's the end. I find myself alone. But I'm on my way back home. So I'm on my way back home. And when I was going home, all the spirits were going home. And then, of course, when I finished, the guy said, are there more verses? More verses? And HEL said, I think that's enough for now. And the scumbags at the back, you know what they said? They said, worst song ever. And they grumbled and went. But now, I'll tell you something. A strange wind, a gentle breeze blew them towards the left gate. And the left gate just swallowed. They went through like a punishment. You know, there's no reason for anyone to be rude in this way. There is no reason for this. There's no excuse. And HEL was very much on my side. And now she had a trick up her sleeve, which was kind of cool. She took her guitar back. Okay, well, okay, I can leave it here. She took her guitar back. And she said, you know, some of you may want to thank our entertainer. Just come forward, those who would like to thank the entertainer. And she took my guitar, and she took her guitar from me, and I went off the slab. And, you know, and the people who were in the front, they were very thankful. And she says, well, you know, thank him. You can shake his hand. And there was a guy, like an old guy, gray beard, you know, and really old. I think he was Indian, an Indian man from India. And he says, thank you. And he even put his hand, maybe he was Muslim, I don't know. Anyway, he put his hand additionally, you know, to shake my hand, but he also wanted to prove gentle, you know, respect, you know. And HEL said, all those who want to thank our entertainer, put your hand on the person in front of you. You don't have to shake everybody's hand, she said to me. Just put your hand on the shoulder of the one in front of you. And some spirits, I'm not thanking someone for anything, you know, that song wasn't that good anyway. I'm not thinking, I'm just gonna go on my way. And a gentle breeze again blew those ungrateful wretches through the left gate. So they were going back in time to a time of suffering, human suffering. I mean, Holocaust, you know, who knows what time they will end up in. Renaissance, head chopping, blah, blah, blah. You know, the French Revolution or wars. We had 2 world wars, and who knows where they went to, Vietnam or... As I shook the man's hand, the old man's hand, who was thanking me, he and all those who touched him disappeared. They disappeared. And I thought, oh my God, what happened? He said, well, they were humble enough to thank you. And as thanks to them for being so mature enough to thank someone, to be thankful, I am thanking them by returning them to where they came from. So that they will all spring to life. I don't know if they'll remember what they went through, but no doubt their lives will be changed. And she said, well, you keep coming here, and I did get the message from your song, she said. I'm on my way back home, isn't that a bit obvious? And I understand also it was very evocative. Your imagery in the song was very, you were reminding them of a life they have left behind. I do appreciate that. And those who appreciated that, the memories of what they left behind, they deserve to go back until further notice, until they come back later. Everybody comes here at some point. But I think that you should now, at some point I know you will come back here, and the guitar will be here, and you can keep me company for a while. You don't have to just leave me next time. After all this time. So you can go back the way you came, into the fog. And that's where I went. I went back into the fog. And I woke up. And it was the 16th of June, 2021. And I didn't race from the bed, but I took my phone, the one I'm recording on right now, and recorded the whole thing so I wouldn't forget it. I forgot to record on December because it was just a dream. But when I went back, I was reminded of that other dream. There were no ungrateful people in that section. I was just playing chords to liven the atmosphere anyway. So I had to have this guitar, and the seller he just told me to my face, I could tell that you were so enthusiastic. You were the most enthusiastic. There were other people who wrote to me, but they just, they were not as enthusiastic as you. You really wanted this guitar, so now you have it. So what I did was I told him about the two dreams that I'm telling you now about. And he did appreciate it. We stood outside, in the wind, and I told him about the two dreams, the same as I'm telling you now. And that is the story behind this guitar. Baton Rouge, Dark Hole. And this is how it looks in the back. And just like in the dream, it's got a pickup. I don't know when HEL uses the pickup. I didn't see any electric sockets or amplifiers down there. But, I think I saw this guitar for sale, and it made its way into my subconscious, and I really wanted it. I just felt that, I should share the story of how I got this guitar. And I do like it. It's very nice. And it came with a very, very nice and tough, thick gig bag. Look at this. Now it's very hard to find dreadnought, bags, especially in Iceland where everything has to be imported. But that is the UnderWorld guitar. I'm going to call it as it's called, Baton Rouge, Dark Hole. I'm sure there's some codes as well. Yeah. And that's it. And it is now home. And I am home, thanks to HEL. She released me because I played her an original song. She did challenge me, and I earned my right to go back home. Anyway, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'm sure there will be more guitar stories. I'm not dead yet. There will be more guitar stories. And the UnderWorld guitar Baton Rouge Dark Hole is now home. Thank you.